Welcome to the Future of Less Work, where we explore how work is transforming one conversation at a time. I'm Nirit Cohen, and today's episode looks at what happens when AI leaves the screen and enters the real world of work. When robots and intelligent systems don't just support decisions, but operate in the physical environments alongside us. We've spent a lot of time in the last couple of years talking about how work changes when AI augments thinking. But we're now at the beginning of a different shift. When AI is starting to move into the physical world of work, it actually means it was increasingly taking on parts of the doing. And that will show up in entirely new ways of work, not just machines as tools, but machines as participants, systems that act, interact, and execute in real environments, which raises a lot of new questions about how work is designed, how performance is measured, how organizations think about trust, accountability, and control. My guest today is in the perfect place to help us understand what it takes to move from digital AI to physical AI, and what that shift means for how we organize work when humans are no longer the only ones executing it. Burkhard Boeckem is the Chief Technology Officer at Hexagon, a company working at the intersection of robotics, spatial intelligence, and autonomous systems. Burkhard, welcome to the Future of Less Work.
Thank you so much for having me.
You know, I worked for Intel for 3 decades. So when I talk about technology integrated in the real world environment, my mind automatically goes to factories. And I will be the first to admit, I'm not sure I totally understand the difference between today's high automated environments and that physical AI environment. Let's start there.
Perfect. I think is also a perfect place to start. And to explain a little bit what physical AI means, I think is a good way to start what we see currently with digital AI. Think about generative AI, ChatGPT. That truly stays in the digital world. It helps us to be more productive or more efficient. Writing emails, agentic workflows with agentic AI. Does a complete autonomy or automation of background or back office
Right.
in companies. But now we are on the verge, and we're actually there, where AI goes into the real world. So that is physical AI, basically where artificial intelligence systems that can perceive, reason, and act autonomous within the physical world.
So if I think about the old factory, it's like you have the machines there and they're predetermined what they're supposed to do. And now you're giving them minds and senses and basically telling them, you know, here's the messy environment, figure it out.
Exactly. I would say along those lines. So physical AI, you give a machine, and often connotated with the last generation of humanoids, robots that we see, means and ways to perceive the world. And of course, compute. Normally you have edge or cloud compute. And then also means and ways to manipulate things or basically transform things in the real world. That can be a gripper, a hand for manipulating things, pick and place things, but it's always important that the robot perceives the world and then reasons it, has the AI running, and then executes something and changes the real world. So it's deployed in the real world, and that's what makes physical AI so special.
So, okay, so what's the human role? Because I'm thinking kind of like knowledge workers are asking, right? If the tool can do the coding, what do you need the coder for, right? If the physical tool becomes autonomous in the space, what do you need the person in the factory floor to do?
Yeah, and we at Hexagon also thought long about this, and when we designed our humanoid called AEON, and for us, very, very decisive, and I think that's also where the industry is going. Probably for the first time, you don't ask the question, can we automate this? But you ask the questions how a human and a humanoid or robot or an autonomous system work alongside each other. And we're at the beginning for this. So what humanoid robots currently can do autonomously is meaningful, but still limited. So basically, we currently encourage a tight collaboration between humans and humanoid robots in order to help each other in various tasks. And for us, it's very important that the robots and the physical AI are basically also enhance the quality of work for the humans, in order that they take off I would say the dangerous task, the mundane ones, the dull ones, and think about robots lifting things, bringing things for commissioning to the workplace, or going in places where humans should better not go.
I mean, I totally see if you're doing glass blowing, you can, the robot can stick their hands in the fire instead of a person with gloves, right? So I that makes perfect sense. But once we start going there, right? Once we start trading the ability to do things, and the more they learn, right? Then I really truly wonder, where does it, is there a line, right? And I'm asking you a question that we're asking with knowledge work already, right? I mean, we've been asking this question. We used to say creativity is the line, and now we know, AI can be creative. So I'm asking you whether you've been thinking about where that line is, where ultimately you say, why would you need the person?
Yeah, and I think that's also the question a lot of companies will ask themselves in order to also be successful. What is the best way to have humans and robots to cooperate and collaborate together, and how far can technology shift the line? At the moment, we're in a stage where these humanoid robots are deployed already in industry setting. And when I'm talking about industrial settings, factories, warehouses, and so forth. And the humans are still there to train the robots, and current training of robots is done with various AI technologies. For example, everything that you need for the mobility of a robot is trained in a digital twin that is closely anchored to reality. So you need a precise measurement of the room, the factory hall, and the environment that the robot needs to be deployed. And then you use reinforcement learning for finding the way, perceiving where are barriers, and where are things where you can walk, and so forth. And for the actual job or the workflow, these days you use a technology called imitation learning. And this is the robot is basically seeing you when you do task.
Yeah.
And you iterate a task maybe 20, 40 times. And then the robot can do this task, of course, with slight variation. If I fill a bottle of water in a cup, then the cup can be in different shapes or forms. The bottle can be a glass bottle, or can be any other carafe or bottle. That's then basically the transfer performance that the AI model can do. But humans are still in the loop there, and then they will be assisted. And we at Hexagon think that humans will be elevated in terms of supervisors. Think about, for example, in the digital world, agentic AI, as you have a lot of assistants around you that are helping there. And I would see also in the workplace, in factory warehouses, you have a lot of assistants doing things. And also what we are probably only at the beginning is the dexterity, the manipulation. the haptic senses of a human are quite ingenious.
Yeah,
still.
these are definitely, it will take time, right? I mean, clearly it will take time. I'm actually curious, why humanoid? So I'm thinking you put technology or a robot right into a warehouse. A person can only carry so much, right? So we actually give them assistance. We give them, carts. They can, move between shelves, and maybe we give them ladders to climb to the top. Once you have technology, why does it need to look like a human? You're actually limiting it.
Depends a little bit on the viewpoint. I see absolutely the angle that you're having, and you're absolutely right. If I and we at Hexagon, we have a large field of solutions in our portfolio geared toward what we call discrete manufacturing, and probably the industry is towards what we call a lights-off manufacturing. These are manufacturing sites that are from the scratch designed for no human interaction. That's why lights off. Here is basically things are designed, the workplaces, the lines, the automation and autonomy is designed in such that with the first thought of the design, in such factories, it was always thought about automation.
Yes.
In the plants. However, the real world, we have a lot of existing factories. We have a lot of existing lines, and they will not become obsolete in a matter of years. So basically, the environment is designed for humans. Yeah. So better have a humanoid in a human form factors that can reach things that have approximately the same height, that have the weight that is not dangerous and scary. And maybe we come later in this discussion what means trust and safety and security in this. But in the early days of the Hexagon Robotics, we were actually making this four-legged robots, like the dogs, so to say, the quadrupeds, autonomous with our sensors. And we found there's a lot of limitations. You can have the perfect autonomous system. If there's a door closed and the system cannot open the door, or if there's an elevator to take, there's the limit.
Yeah, if they have to operate in human environments, they're not suited to do that. That's absolutely true. So I want to turn to the human in a moment, but I just one other question on this. But if you were to start or advise a factory that is actually building itself from scratch into this physical AI world, would you think differently about how to build it? Because you're describing a transition phase where the tools are still not there. They're not there in dexterity. They're not there in terms of how much we can trust them, clearly, right? But that will figure itself out, right? So at some point they will be there.
Yeah. If you're basically absolutely sure, and I doubt this a little bit, there's no human intervention ever. You would build a place probably just for machines. But also in the concept of the lights off manufacturing, sometimes things stop, and there needs to go human in just to press a reset button.
Yes.
In this, and then probably you're better off if you design it in a way that is still accessible by humans, and as long probably as this is the case, I think the first step, also the step towards an acceptable collaborative system in form of a robot with a humanoid form.
Okay, perfect. So now I do want to ask you about why you believe there will be a human in the process. And in the knowledge work space, right? I think that the way I think about this is ultimately if everybody has the same AI agents, then you will just all do the same things, because you and your customers and your suppliers, we all use the same tools, right? And what makes one company different from another, it's got to be the humans. It's how they use the tools. It's what they're asking. It's the next level question, right? And I think we're not there yet. So we don't fully understand the uniquely human elements that go into the work. Even if you're automating the work, you don't always understand what people did as part of that you're now losing. And we're going to learn, right? And I hear you say we need the humans in the physical AI environment as well. So I'm curious, what do you think our role will be in that phase?
Yeah, no, absolutely, and I think we will see a new basically elevation of the workers there, and it's probably goes away from what a single workstation can do, or a human as a workstation can do. But what can a team between humans and humanoids do in a time? Where can they interact? Where can they emphasize the strength, basically, of each other? And if it's coming to a progression where it's basically only humanoid robots and maybe cobots and stationary robots and so forth, there will probably be still the human team lead or the supervisor that basically has the last accountability and has the last decision point inside. Okay, this is in quality, this is in spec, and there we go from now. And why this form factor, and why do we still have a human designed environment? I think what we also will see in the future is through the higher degree of how we customize things. We want to be more flexible. Yeah. So probably we also see a trend that is speaking for the humanoids, that with a larger degree of customizability in a factory, you want to have flexibility. It's probably not this one production line for automotive which stays the same, but you want to rapidly change. You want to adapt to the market, to new trends. Will it be that a factory changes every 24 hours?
Yes, it's almost
maybe not yet, but
retraining your people, right? It's like you have a new kind of workforce, and you're able to retrain them for a new product or a new version very quickly versus the way we do it today, right? Okay, so do you have good examples? Anything that already works in practice that you can tell me?
For physical AI deployed,
or humanoids, or something closer to where we think we're going.
Yeah. I think as Hexagon we have already quite nice pilot and early adopters as customers for our humanoid, and we are very, very careful in choosing where we go. First of all, I think everything I'm talking today is about the industrial setting, and I think there where it starts first. It's probably a longer way away where robots go into elderly care and things like this.
I'm looking forward to the one that can come clean my house, but I
think we all do in this. But in the industrial setting, we specifically have our humanoid AEON equipped with a lot of sensors. Now, we are a measurement company, so basically that's where we come from, and we are bringing autonomy in measurement. So we have a lot of sensors. Our head is full of sensors. The chest has sensors in order to perceive, measure, and inspect the environment. So that said, the use cases that we are looking after are the use cases where quality really matters, that you can inspect the part while you're handling it. Then, of course, we have the full dexterity and the mobility, so we can actually wheel or roll around a factory with a bipedal solution, which has wheels instead of feet on the ends. So the mobility is given for taking things to and from the workplaces, and then next to it, we can also, with the sensors, also inspect things.
So you're describing, I'm going to pause on that for a moment, because that's a wonderful description of how you end up changing the workflow, right? Because in the past we had somebody produce and somebody inspect and somebody pack, and you can inspect as you go, maybe fix as you go, which is completely different.
Exactly, and I think that's also where the strengths lie of this combination. While you're sorting out or commissioning parts that will go into a line, you can also inspect the quality of this part. And is this something I want to put and assemble into the final product? And you asked me before, do you have examples? And I think with our early adopter customers that we have announced, whether it's Schaeffler or BMW or Pilatus, they're developing and building planes. BMW is obviously an automotive company, and Schaeffler is a tier one automotive supplier. So basically, we are in this combination where you do pick and place, where you do handling things and also inspect the quality or measure parts. And for us at Hexagon also, it was a good way of going into this industry, because since decades we already supply the industry in terms of, for example, discrete manufacturing with measurement technology.
Yeah, these are also they're highly automated already. They're highly, well, at least some of them are highly individualized in terms of the things you want your car to do. And we've seen this, and of course, highly regulated, which is important. So let's kind of shift to the human part, right? Because I really appreciate that you said you really believe the human will stay there, and I'm wondering, what would it feel like, you think, for us? So you see a vision, right? I mean, you're looking forward beyond the current pilots. And if you look a few years down the road, what would it feel like to work in this environment? What will change for us as people?
I'm an optimist by nature. So what I would see that we will shape the future of work probably towards the tasks that are ideally suited for humans, where you have to have certain human qualities like the haptics, the vision, the ingenuity. And I would like to think of humanoid robots as assistants that lift heavy things, that give you things. It's like a very sophisticated tool, and I think it will come gradually. So we're now seeing that this very, very nicely made robotic videos on YouTube, for instance. They can dance, they can do all kinds of things, but I think the reality is it comes task by task, and it's like probably for the user, the human that is working there is like, okay, you have a car that you have to shift gears. Now it's an automatic car. That is the first step. It makes you focus more on the road in an ideal case. It takes basically things away that basically clutter the focus point that you have, and it's helping with everything around this. And then basically when robots, but that's still a few years out. What we are currently predicting is that they can completely autonomous do for full workflows and so forth. Then there needs to still be humans that are supervising, saying, okay, what are the things that we're doing? What are we going to build an assembly here, and how should the workflow look like? And I think that will be a process over time.
Yeah, I think you're basically, it's really interesting that you're describing a lot of the similar conversations we've been having the last couple of years with AI in the knowledge workspace. So it's like I have a team of helpers who are getting smarter each day and more experienced each day and learn better what I need them to do, right? And then when I hand off the work, I get to choose if I want to go read a book or do new stuff that I never got around to doing, right? So I think what you're saying is the better first of all, they'll do all the stuff we don't like to do, right? A lot of people are working in, hazardous environments, and there's risk and there's ergonomic issues. So that's the first round. The second round is they'll free up time. And the question is, what are we going to do with that time? Mm-hmm. Why do you think there's a trust issue? Because if that's the story, then I want to say, yay, I'm really happy. Give me a few of those, right?
Mm-hmm. Now, I think that's maybe I start, and I like the comparison between the knowledge AI or the digital AI and the physical AI. I think currently when we're using AI in our daily lives, we sometimes find that these AI are hallucinating. Yeah, you design a prompt, you get an answer, you're not sure, you fact check, and then you think, it does not seem to be right. You do another prompt design, you maybe ask another AI, and then you get a different outcome. Hallucinating in physical AI is completely not allowed. Think about because then you transfer things into the real world in a way that could harm people.
Yeah, so you're saying the risk level is higher.
The bar is so much higher in terms of safety, security, and that's why I think here things will move more gradually. Because we always have to make sure that the robot is grounded in reality. When hallucination is not a topic.
Yeah, we're seeing this in, if you think about the medical space, you think about anything that's dangerous in terms of even certain legal areas or financial areas. And we also saw it in autonomous driving, right? We thought autonomous driving was going to come a lot sooner than digital AI, and that didn't happen because of the high risk, or at least the perception of it.
Yeah, and that's why also we believe that you have to take extra care if you do the step. That extra care is you have to basically anchor your physical AI in reality. That means if you deploy a robot in a room, you actually need to know very precise the dimensions, where things are, what is the reach, where is the areas where the robot should not go. Yeah, the bounding boxes you have to set all these kind of things. And I'm also a believer if this is then done in a very good way. We call this the reality gap. If the digital AI or the digital world and the physical AI are not meeting and not grounded in reality, then you have a gap. And this is not. This is basically not allowed to have this reality gap. But if you overcome it time after time, if you increase the capabilities and the skills, and I think that's also where the trust grows on the human side. the equations. And there's also one thing: if something, even if you have closed this reality gap, goes wrong, then you have to have a very strict procedure in terms of functional safety, that the robots don't go wild.
Yeah.
If a robot toggles over, what happens then? Is it so heavy that it can crush you, or does it have mechanism where it just freezes?
Yeah, in general, you're basically saying the
This.
risk of AI in the physical world is bigger than hallucination, that giving you a wrong answer, right? And it's a little bit also out of our control. I mean, I can teach people, don't assume the answer is right on AI, but I don't necessarily control what happens if a robot's working with me in the same physical space, which might be scary.
Yeah, I mean, you always have to have a fallback scenario, and I think the answer is here a tight of control, independent loops, enough sensors to sense the environment, even if some sensors don't work there. Then you always have to have a fallback. You always have to have a safety system where you fall back, and I think that's the key of designing responsibly in the world of physical AI.
Yeah. Okay, that's really fascinating. I'm actually looking forward to seeing this evolve. And I want to, as we wrap up, ask you to think a little bit, into the future. What do you think, as humans now, right, operating in this world that's evolving with more digital and physical AI entities in our space? What do you think is the question we should all be asking ourselves about the future of work?
I think the question probably goes more into the direction of not anymore can we automate this. I think we are probably past this, but is it an autonomous system that we can deploy with enough trust and responsibility in the area, and can we do enough to enhance the capabilities and elevate the humans, even if it's then to a stage where humans are then the supervisors of the humanoid. But I'm a strong advocate of there always will be humans in the loop, and if it's just on the big role of supervising teams of humanoids. So I think that's then combined with trust, as we talked before. Probably that is the bigger question. Not can we automate workflow A and B. I think there.
Yeah, and I'm curious on your last comment. Do you think we should, or how do you think we should change how we train humans for this world? And that actually starts in school, right? How we educate and train humans for this world.
I mean, at Hexagon, we did a robot generation report, exactly on this topic, and it was one of the questions was how do we see robots, and it was a split between the participants. We interviewed 18,000 people, and 9,000 of this were basically children in this, and we saw clear trends. Where is the anxiety, in also in which countries is more anxiety than this? And I think the key takeaway and the learning of this robot generation report is that there's an initial trust in the industrial settings, where people, the larger majority, can think of humanoids being there. There's the smaller amount that, for example, elderly care and these kind of things thinks the physical AI, or basically the robots are mature enough for this. And if you look to the younger people in this report, there was an initial trust in this, that the robots can do all kinds of things. And I think it will grow with this over time. But clearly, we saw a lot of hype for humanoid robots lately, and this will continue. It's now on us, to the industry, to deliver trust in these solutions, make the physical AI applications that we see step by step integratable in the human workforce, and allow for a collaboration between humans and humanoid robots.
And I think, and you're saying is and like every generation, the generation that grows up with this will feel comfortable as long as we're doing this right. Wow. Thank you, Burkhard. Thank you for joining me today. For more about Burkhard Boeckem and Hexagon, check out the links in the episode description. If you've enjoyed today's conversation, don't forget to follow The Future of Less Work wherever you take your podcasts. And remember, your best people do not work because they have to, or because you measure them to, or because you tell them to. They work because they want to, because by working for you, they're doing what's important for them in life. Till next time.